Welcome to the Quick Start tutorial for SimpleTestTracker. Let's look at the test process with SimpleTestTracker. First, you define a product version for the test campaign. Second, you define a test plan, which is a set of test cases. After this, you are ready for test execution. During execution, you may want to report the test status. For regression testing, you will repeat failed test cases, and when the test campaign is complete, you will perform some finalization tasks. First, you define a new product version, which represents a test campaign. Here you also define the test destinations. These are the device types where your app runs or the different test environments. Eventually, you also want to copy test cases from a previous version. Definition of test cases is a big task, especially for the first version. For future versions, you can reuse the test cases and refine them. You can organize the test cases by assigning one main category and a set of subcategories. In SimpleTestTracker, each version keeps its own set of test cases, while the categories are assigned to the product and are the same for all versions. During test execution, you will run the test cases separately for each test destination. For each executed test case, you will add a test result to note the test outcome. If you execute a test case multiple times, you can add a new test result each time if you like. SimpleTestTracker supports test reporting by providing test result statistics, which is included in the Pro version. Regression testing is simply done by filtering for the failed test cases and then repeating the test execution. Usually you add a new test result for regression testing, but you can also just update the last test result. For finalization, you probably want to create a final test report, where SimpleTestTracker again provides the test result statistics. With the Pro version, you can also create an archive including a CSV file with all the test cases, test results, and in addition the test case attachments. Now let's move to the app to see how this works. You see here the macOS version. If you use SimpleTestTracker on iPad, it will look a bit different but offers the same features. On iPhone, some features may not be available due to the limited screen size. When you start SimpleTestTracker, you see this welcome screen. From here, you can navigate to the product setup to configure your first product. Edit the product and the version name. Besides the version name, you find some toggle buttons. If hide is enabled, this version will not be shown in selection menus. If overview is enabled, this version is shown in the overview report, which is the main screen. Enable the default button to mark the current version. Clicking on the destination button opens a new screen where you can define test destinations. You need to define at least one destination for test execution. The export button is only available in the Pro version and lets you export an archive with all the test cases, test results, and attachments for this version. Finally, here you can delete the product version. In the sections below, you define main and subcategories for the product. You can place them in a specific order and move a category to the other section by clicking on the sub or main button. With the basic setup done, let's move to the test plan page. Select the product and version we just defined in the setup. Here in the top row, you have some filters available. Also, you can search for test cases. The plus button creates a new test case. First, set the test case title, then select the main category. If you want to create a new main category, click on this button, enter the name, and hit Create. Next, you can assign one or multiple subcategories by choosing from the list. By clicking on the category name on the left, you can remove it from the test case. In the details, you describe the purpose of the test case, give instructions to the testers on how to execute the test case, and what the expected result is. You can also add attachments here. At the bottom of the screen, you can display existing test results. If you are adding a series of test cases, you can also define a set of default categories. Click on this button to open a pop-up and then select the categories from the list. At the test case, you can then select Use Default to replace the subcategories with the default ones. At the top of the screen, you can also select the display mode for the test plan screen. This selects the current view type, which is a split screen with the test case list on the left and the details on the right. Next is a table view, which only shows the test case list. You can select one or multiple test cases for manipulation. The details are shown in a pop-up screen. The trash icon opens the trash bin. Here you find the deleted test cases, which you can restore or finally delete. The Actions button has two additional features. Import test cases from another version lets you copy test cases. And bulk create test cases is helpful if you want to create a lot of test cases with their title only in one go. Moving on to test execution, you first must select the test destination. For this screen, you can choose between three modes: main and subcat for selecting the test cases first on the main and then on the subcategory. Maincat to select test cases on the main category only. Subcat to select test cases on the subcategory only. And uncategorized to see all test cases without any filter on the category. Let's choose uncategorized for now. With the limit setting, you can limit the number of test cases displayed. In the list below, you now see all the test cases grouped by the main category. If you want, you can now add one open test result for all the displayed test cases in one go. Click on the More button and select Add Open Result for all test cases to perform this. Alternatively, you can go through the test case list one by one and add the result as you go with this button. When you have a test result added to the test case, you can set the status of the test execution. As well, you can add notes or attachments. When the notes are displayed, you have also a drag button available, where you can drag the test result details into another application. This works with any application which accepts text. Also, with this, you can create an issue in SimpleTestTracker, our app for bug tracking. If you need to adapt the test case description, you can do so by clicking on the test case edit button. Now the test case definition is shown in a pop-up screen. The All Results button opens a screen and shows you all the results for this test case. You see also test results from other versions if this test case was copied from another version. Coming back to the More button menu, we have some additional features. With this, you can enable the display of the subcategories for each test case. Switching this setting on shows the results for the other destinations on the main screen. Here you can set the test execution date, which is set automatically with the result as soon as you change the status. Same for the build name. At last, here you can set the status for all displayed results in one go. Moving back to the main window and open the results screen. This screen lets you browse through the results for editing and deleting. With the Pro version, you also find an assistant for creating a new test campaign. First, select the product and version for which you want to create the campaign. Let's create a new version. Next, you can add test cases by copying them from another version. You can also apply some filters for the copy operation. And last, you choose to add an open test result to the test cases. When you are done with the settings, you can click on Execute. The results are shown here. A second Pro version feature is the statistics screen. Choose product, version, and destination for the display. For mode, you can choose between Report by Status and Report by Main Category. For type, you can select to show the statistics for the selected destination or for all the destinations. If you enable Show Counts, this screen also shows a matrix with main categories, status, and test completeness percentage. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy using SimpleTestTracker. If you experience issues, please contact our support or visit the Q&A on the website.